I'm going to guess you're Spanish.
Nope.
Nope. Let me
All right.
see. We need to give her something more to say. Tell us what you're doing this weekend, Eleni.
Actually, nothing special.
Oh, wait. You're not. Are you Russian?
No?
No, it's Brazilian.
Yeah, it's something. It's Latin.
There
descent.
we go. Who guessed it?
I said
Easy.
Brazilian.
Yes, I'm.
Casey, you just won $100 from Buck's First Federal Credit Union.
She has a very, very,
Casey did.
very cute accent, doesn't she?
Cute. Yeah.
But the way she said nothing, sounded exactly like my sister-in-law.
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right, well, thank you, Eleni.
Oh, I just wanted to tell you guys about a couple really good Brazilian restaurants in Philadelphia.
All
Okay.
right, where are they?
One is Fogo de Chão.
Fogo de Chão, we love
that place.
Yeah, and the other one is called Shima.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We know Shima.
I've been there.
Shibop.
Right
They're
on
both
Market
really
Street.
good.
Okay. All right, well, wonderful, Eleni. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
She sounds cute, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She does. All right, and that is it for Open Phone.
We had
It's
a
Open Phone Philadelphia, where you can say anything you wanna. Apologize for acting like a pig. Sell your car or advertise a gig. Pick up the horn and call. Yeah, it's Open Phone Philadelphia. That's the name of that tune.
I think we sold the most things in that Open Phone Philadelphia than we ever have. We had a lot of people selling stuff.
Yeah, a lot of times we get tips. We got a couple of tips, but for the most part, it was people pitching things. And by the way, we get emails regularly of people who want us to do birthday wishes. We really don't do them because otherwise we would get tons of them every single day. But that is a good opportunity right there. Once a month, Open Phone Philadelphia to wish a little happy birthday, love. So keep that in mind when we do it. It's usually towards the beginning of the month that we'll fire that up.
You're listening to Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR. MMR rocks now.
Our next guest, who's in studio, by the way, you have seen in movies like The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, The Bourne Supremacy, Doom. Did an amazing job as Bones McCoy in Star Trek, and is here to talk about a movie that not only stars him, but Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, John Malkovich, and Helen Mirren. It is called Red. Please welcome to our studio, Mr. Karl Urban.
Thank you. Good morning, Philly, and what a great morning it is, huh?
It is. It's
man.
fantastic.
You got here on a good day. It's been raining steadily for the last 3 or 4 days, and we got a break in the sunshine, or break in the clouds for you, sir.
What's the weather like in? You're from New Zealand, yes?
That's right. It's just starting to warm up, actually. We're heading into spring.
I was reading about you, and obviously, you know, born and raised there, and then I started to put two and two together. I was looking at some of your credits. A number of Xena appearances, right? And Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, and Xena were all shot down in New Zealand.
That's right.
And you worked on that show. You were on a couple episodes, right?
I did, yeah.
Was that a blast?
It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Actually, a lot of the cast and crew who worked on that ended up working on Lord of the Rings. Nyla Dickinson, who did the wardrobe, won the Oscar.
Yeah.
It was a good learning ground.
Very cool.
Could be one of the most beautiful places in the world, or the most dramatic changes in scenery in the world.
It's pretty gorgeous. I have to say, it's pretty gorgeous. But you know what? I've had the great pleasure of traveling the length of breadth of the States, and this country blows me away.
Really?
It really is phenomenal, yeah.
Cool.
You know, that's a place I really, really would love to visit. I just don't know that I could do the plane ride. How often do you go back and forth?
Yeah, it's a commute.
A commute is an understatement. We're looking at a solid day, right?
It's 12 hours, but it's really not that bad. I mean, if you're coming from Auckland to LA, you hop on a plane at night, fall asleep, wake up in a new city. So that's my commute to work.
And one of my reasonings is the wine there. I love New Zealand wine.
Oh, we've got sensational wine there.
Yeah.
If you love wine, just come down. Especially great whites. Great whites.
Wow. Very cool.
Well, the new movie that I mentioned, Red, and I was not familiar, but comes from the world of comics and graphic novels. And were you familiar with the material before you found out about the job?
No, my first introduction to the material was with the script, and it wasn't till afterwards that I read the graphic novel, which really is quite a short, violent little piece that represents about the first act of our film. Our film's a funny film. It's a hilarious comedy.
It's an action comedy.
It is an action comedy,
and but it does capture, because I did, once I learned the movie was being made, I flicked through it, and it seems to capture a lot of the vibe of it, because you have these. I mean, first off, the cast. Was the cast in place when you were brought into the film?
No, it wasn't. When I signed on, it was just Bruce, I think, and then it was insane. It's like every week that I'd open up the paper, it's like, oh my God, Helen Mirren's going to do this film.
Oscar winner Helen Mirren.
Oscar winner Helen. John Malkovich, Morgan Freeman, Brian Cox. I mean, it just exploded.
Yeah. And you play the nefarious element in the movie, correct? You're the ones who are going. These are ex-CIA agents who were the creme de la creme, the top at their craft. And they know too much, and you're going about taking them out.
That's right. I play a CIA hitman, and it's my job to hunt down Bruce Willis and his team of retirees. Proves to be a little more difficult than I anticipated.
Difficult. How hot is Helen Mirren with a gun?
Oh my God!
Is that wild?
Just for one reason alone, you should go and see this film. As Helen Mirren in a ball gown dress, rocking a 50 cal. It's the Queen.
That's right.
It's insane.
I would imagine that this collective group, with the amount of experience they've had, and just individually, they seem like they would be. They all seem. We all
cool.
know them well. They all seem cool, but they all seem like they would be very quirky people. On top of that, too, if you got them all together, were there times where the entire starring cast was together?
Yes, there were. There was a couple of points, and that was a handful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, a handful in a good way.
That's some bowl of nuts.
Yeah, because I've seen John Malkovich interviewed before, and he's a quirky guy.
Oh yeah.
Did you pick up any of did any of this rub off of what they do, what their own way of using the craft? Did it rub off on you?
I don't know if it rubbed off on me in any particular way, but it was a pleasure to work with them. We had a lot of fun. I mean, Malkovich, he cracks me up.
Yeah,
he's actually a funny guy.
Hilarious.
I think he loves effing with people because he's John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Like, I think they expect a certain thing and he plays on that. Would that be correct?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
very much so. But he is a very weird a mixture of hyper intelligence and humor, and he's very well read. And he just has the most insane sports knowledge. You can ask him any question: basketball, football, baseball,
and you wouldn't expect that.
He will tell you where that player's from. He'll tell you what team he's in, what college he went to, what his stats were.
Wow.
I never would have pegged that.
Yeah.
What's his allegiance then? What are his sports teams? Do you
Cleveland.
know? Cleveland.
Cleveland.
If you're in a movie where you're playing the bad guy, you're playing the enemy of this cast. Is it wise to socialize with them, or do you like to keep a little bit of a barrier so that you can keep that removed, I'm after you sort of thing?
Yeah, I think we socialized quite a bit on this.
How could you not?
How could
right?
you not? Come on.
You'd want to do that. There's a fair amount of gunplay, obviously, in the movie, and I was before we went on. I enjoyed the movie Doom. It's a good junk food movie, and you are gun crazy in that thing.
Right.
Is that something you dig? Because there was additional features in the movie that showed you having a blast learning how to shoot.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's one of the insane things about what I do. I get taught a lot of skills that I can never use in real life.
Right.
And I have a deadly skill set.
That would include the weapons and any fighting as well? Did they teach you anything?
Yeah, all of that. Weapons, fighting. For when I shot the Born Supremacy, they taught me how to do a reverse 180 in a Mercedes G-Wagon. And then let me do it.
Wow.
It is so much fun.
How do you do it?
To learn how to do that.
How do you do that?
Yeah. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, well you get. This is bad, but okay, I'll tell you. You get your G-Wagon. It's about 60, 70 miles an hour.
In reverse.
In reverse. Yeah. You turn the wheel, slap it into neutral as it's coming around. Tap on the brake.
Yep.
That'll send you into a skid. When you're getting about 3/4 of the way around, slap it into drive, power out.
All right, because I saw and I didn't.
That's wild.
But please don't try that on the freeway.
Do it in
not
a
a good
big
look.
parking lot. I saw Rob Pattinson's character do it in Twilight, and he did it in that Volvo wagon.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude,
It's cool.
I need to learn how to do that. Just
very
like when
cool.
I'm leaving like work one day.
Yeah. No, don't try that on the freeway. Take it to the mall.
So they let you do that, even though you're kind of the money shot in the movie,
Well, yeah, yes, they did. They did let me do that, and I know I'm still kind of baffled myself. But if you actually have a look at the movie, you will see as I turn the wheel, you'll see the entire background go wipe the frame. So it was just me and a static camera.
Wow, awesome. Carl, I have to address this. You have a lot of adoring female fans. I got an email that I want to read to you real quick.
I bet you got a few yourself.
No.
We
get restraining orders.
This says, I almost peed my pants when I heard that Karl Urban was going to not only be on the show, but in studio. I went into my total fangirl mode and couldn't stop giggling. For 5 straight minutes, I gushed about how awesome he is, his new movies, his time on Xena, how hot he is. And then I had a mini freak out. I realized that I would be driving through the city at the same time that he was there. I could barely get through my classes this week because I was thinking, oh, my God, Karl Urban is going to be here. Oh, my God, I'm going to be minutes away from him. And when I realized I will probably never meet him, no matter how much I want to, I was kind of hoping that you could tell him I said hi. Nothing too creepy, and my fangirlishness won't allow my brain any deep thoughts. I just feel he is an amazing actor and an amazing human being. Okay, I think I got my craziness out. I'll be listening to you guys, and you guys rock. And that is from Veronica. So
Veronica?
Yeah.
Veronica. Good job,
this
Veronica.
is for you, Veronica.
Hey, I was reading you had an issue at one point with with sort of a celebrity stalker, right? You came home and somebody was like on your front lawn,
Someone
right?
had flown from Europe to stand outside my house.
What?
And had this person been sending you things leading up to it, or was it?
No, she hadn't. It was actually, there's a little more to the story. I had actually inadvertently given her my address because I thought she was a colleague that I had worked with on Born Supremacy. Oops. Same name.
So she takes that as an entree.
So, yeah, come on down to my house. But no, it was an honest mistake.
Okay. I would imagine, yeah.
I got to say once again, and we were talking about it off air, but your portrayal of Bones in Star Trek was awesome. That was my favorite movie of that year. And you did, your own version, your own impression of him, as everybody, I guess, had to do with their characters in that movie. And you pulled off the voice.
Pulled off everything, but brought your own to it. Were you a fan of the original show at all? Were you aware?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think myself and Simon Pegg were the only cast members who were old enough to really remember the original series. And even then, we saw it on reruns. But yeah, certainly, I had a deep admiration and respect for the work of DeForest Kelley, and that was a huge challenge to really kind of identify the essence of that character.
But you nailed it. There are moments in the performance where you almost start to well up because you think it would have been great if he had seen it. It would have been a great homage.
Well, I tell you what, when I was going to the premiere with Leonard Nimoy, his wife came up to me. He and his wife came up to me and said, "Carl, you did a really fantastic job. I just want you to know when you came on screen, Leonard started crying."
Oh, that's awesome!
So,
because they were good buddies for decades.
They were obviously great buddies for decades. So that was a huge compliment.
You and Chris Pine looked like you had a great relationship.
We had a lot of
together.
laughs. He's a great guy. He's a big star, and we had a lot of laughs.
Now you're married with children, yes?
Correct.
Right. He's not, and obviously women dig him. Did you give him any sort of advice about how not to fall into the stardom trap, or?
My advice was really how to fall into it the right way.
The right way, yeah.
Well, the movie kind of reset, the whole series for future runs of it. Is that going to happen? Are you going to do other ones?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We're going to shoot another one mid next year, I think we start. So I'm looking forward to that. The writers, JJ, they're working on a script right now, and when they get together, they're like three Einsteins. So I'm really looking forward to it.
And this is going to be weird to see, but in a good way, with Red, to see you in a more the baddie. You know, it's a bit of a stretch. You usually are playing something more heroic. Is it? We hear classically actors say it's fun to play the bad guy. Was that your experience?
Yeah, well, when you go and see the film, you'll see there is actually a lot more to it than just the straight bad guy. In fact, in this film, it's a case of would the real bad guy please stand up? So watch out for that. But this film was so much fun. It was a lot of fun to shoot, and I watched it for the first time with an audience in Austin, Texas, and they laughed their asses off the whole time.
Cool. But the action seems, and that's what these things have to do. The action has to be there. It has to be mind blowing. And that helps accentuate the jokes. And what I've seen in the trailers, it looks like, they didn't spare any expense.
Yeah. No, they didn't. And there's a shot in this film that has never been done in cinema before, and I bet you it'll be replicated and ripped off from here on.
There's a scene where Bruce Willis is getting out of a spinning car.
Right, that's the one I'm talking about.
Is that the one?
That's the one.
Have you seen it in the trailer?
No, I've seen the trailer.
He gets out of a spinning car and steps up, and the back of the car just spins around and just misses him.
What? Oh, wow.
And I obviously
as he's unloading like 2 clips at me.
Wow.
Very cool. Very cool. And Bruce Willis, your experience good?
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great
He seems
guy.
like just a regular dude.
He's just he is. That's exactly what he is.
Cool.
They had a pretty intense fight sequence with him in this film. There's a lot of comedy in this film, and we had this fight sequence which was. We wanted it to be gritty, real, intense. We didn't want it to be, embellished with all these like martial arts sort of flurries.
Sure. Like just a Marcus of Queensberry type of
2 guys just brawling. It's it's insane.
Cool.
All right, so Ernest Borgnine's in this as well?
Yeah.
Which is why he was on What's Up With That on Saturday Night Live this weekend?
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was wondering why he was on it. I knew why Morgan Freeman was making an appearance. I need to ask about Helen Mirren because I love her, and I'm going to get a little bit creepy, but how sexy is she in person?
She's very sexy.
I mean,
she is hot.
Yeah, right?
Seriously hot. And she's got this cute little tat right on her finger.
She's got a tattoo
on her finger.
On her hand. She's
like on the web.
She's she's a great dame.
What does it say?
It's not. It's a little like a star or a
Doesn't say
something.
Poontang, right?
You have one too on your hand, right?
Yes, I do.
What,
yeah.
is that a wedding?
Little engagement tattoo right there.
That's cool. I know some guys who do that. Will get the tattoo of the Now, was that at your wife's behest, or did you?
Yeah, no, that was a mutual decision.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised she didn't have you tattoo taken on your chest.
Branded.
Yeah. This he's gone.
Do you live in the U.S. or in New Zealand?
No, I live in New Zealand. I've got a great life there. A couple of kids, and as I said, LA's the commute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how long are you gone at a clip when you're working on a project?
Usually 3 months at a time. I spend about 6 months of the year in NZ.
Okay, and how old are your kids?
10 and 5.
Okay, well, they've got to miss Dad while you're gone, or do you get a chance to bring them out?
No, they come with me as much as they can. I mean, some locations prohibit that, but they're great kids. They keep you grounded. They really keep you grounded.
So on the set, you let them run around and play with the guns and stuff?
No, they don't do that.
That's cool.
They do have a lot of fun. I mean, you should see my boys on the set of the Enterprise. They were
that must have been
they had to
friggin'
press
insane.
every button.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's cool.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Okay, here she is.
Veronica is calling, the girl who I read the email from.
Oh, all right.
You want to let her geek out for just a second?
If you
here?
don't mind, Carl.
The biggest Karl Urban fan on the planet. Veronica, are you there?
Hi.
Hey, Veronica, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, you sound good.
Give her your address.
Yeah. Veronica, is there anything you want to say to Karl real quick?
Hi.
Well, you got to give him more than hi.
Yes. Tell him how.
I'm really excited.
What was the first thing that you saw Karl in that just really set you off?
Well, I think it started with Lord of the Rings,
Right.
And then I was like, "Ooh, he's really interesting." So I kept looking it up, and then I looked up all the Xena episodes, and I was like, "Ooh, this is awesome." Then Doom came out, and
Are you going to go see Red?
Definitely.
Okay.
Go check it out, Veronica. I tell you, love it. It's a lot of fun. It's a great date movie.
And by the way, he's just immaculely dressed and looks astonishing. I'm a heterosexual male, and I would do him in a heartbeat. So only imagine what you're missing out on here.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
When I shook his hand, I gave him the 2-hand shake. Where I gripped the other.
Both hands.
This is the who would you turn gay for moment.
That's right, exactly right.
Veronica, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 18.
18.
18.
Wow.
Just turned or for a while?
Turned 18 2 months ago.
Oh, dear
wow.
Lord.
All right, you're
Fresh
safe,
meat.
Carl. You're safe.
Thanks for calling, Veronica.
At least you. I don't know how it
Take
is in
care,
New Zealand.
Veronica.
Carl,
See you later.
Are you related to Keith Urban?
No, but it was reported that I married Nicole Kidman.
Okay. Because you're both from New Zealand, but his last name is actually Urbanski or something like that, right?
Is it really? I just
Yeah.
thought it was Urban, or did he shorten it?
I think he shortened it.
Good call.
Yeah.
From Urbanski?
Yeah,
I think so.
Urbanski.
Yeah.
Isn't-
Well, the movie Red is opening in theaters on October 15th, and talk about some star power. And,
Jesus, yeah.
mixing action and comedy. And if you've got Bruce Willis in it, he's the best at both.
Yeah.
So you guys have a winner, I'm sure. And we'll obviously be looking for the next Star Trek movie down the road, and whatever else you got going on.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much, guys. And Philly, have a great day. Rock it out there.
Outstanding. Karl Urban, ladies and gentlemen, on the Preston and Steve Show.
You're listening to Preston and Steve
Preston and Steve.
on 93.3 WMMR. MMR rocks.